Now, this is actually a question I wanted to get you guys as a group, because this probably comes up. We've all experienced it. And this person says, an acquaintance of mine is dying of cancer. She has young kids and is in the process of moving to another state to be close to her family for the last days. What do you say to someone, and this person was an atheist, that's dying? And there is there's a good question there, because it's really easy for a Christian to say, and we're going to get to this other segue later, but it's easy to say, you're going to go home to Jesus, you're going to see your grandparents, blah, 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 blah. We don't say that. We can't say that. What do you say to these people that you've met and they're dying that you feel is comforting? Or how do you do it? I'm curious.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is I would simply say, I'll remember you.
There you go. Yeah. I like that, actually. That's all I can.
I see the situation. We're going to die. There's nothing we can do. And I'm going to echo exactly what he just said. It's going to be about our memories. It's going to be about shared experiences. It's going to be about we still, if we are able to, we should still be creating some shared experiences now that we know that time is coming. Mm-hmm. I think anything involving afterlife, living sweet in the bosom of Jesus is just it. I can't tell you how vehemently I hate that. Like, live those future things that this whole earth is just dirty rags for the next life is just so limiting and
wasteful.
There's no reason to even look. We don't know what's out there, so why bother with it? We comfort, we be there for them. We let them know that we are there for them. We let them know that we're not alone. We keep creating memories. We keep creating experiences. Mm-hmm. But there's absolutely nothing that a religion that you haven't already been indoctrinated into is going to help with that. Right. No matter how much of a therapist the priest thinks he is.
Right. Yeah.
I've been in a situation where my father-in-law and my mother were both dying, and my mother knew full well that I was atheist. And I thought to myself, how am I going to talk to mom about all of this? And I said, you know what? My goal here is to do no harm. But my goal is also to not deny myself the way that I feel. So I say to the person who's on their deathbed, you have your particular belief. So as you're going through this transition, focus on the important parts of your belief, because it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter.
I'll agree with that. Yeah. I'll agree with that. In that
but at
situation,
the same time, it absolutely sickens me to the core. I'm very, very much in the same boat as you. It's I guess I've learned in my old age that people are always going to let me down, or I should say, human beings are capable of letting me down in one way or another, or causing me grief in one way or another. And how I perceive everything makes the difference, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can do no harm, and I'm not going to be shocked when I'm in a situation where either I've been let down or someone, or I should say, and then at that point, when someone does something, I'm not necessarily let down or hurt or whatever. It's just part of the way humans act, the things that humans do. Mm-hmm. And then I'll gravitate toward folks like y'all,
Yeah.
But when I see someone in a position where, like my mother was dying, I just said, hey, Mom, all this is going to be over with soon. You're going to be with Jesus. And she says, how can you say that? You don't believe it. And I said, well, it's really simple. There's no reason for me to tell you anything else. I mean, I understand where the origin is. I was part of that. You're the one who taught me everything. My mother was the one who taught me everything about religion before I started going to school. I went to kindergarten already knowing the Lord's Prayer, the Nicene Creed, the Apostles' Creed. The list goes on, and it was because of her. So when I'm faced with her mortality right then and there, I just thought to myself, I guess I'll just do no harm. But it bothered me so much inside that I had to, that I wasn't able to say anything against it. But then the other part of me says, what good would it do?
What good would it do?
You know?
Yeah, I'm the same way. When it comes to grief, it's like talking to a child, or it's kind of both ways. If you talk to a little kid and you want to just boost their esteem by saying whatever, that was your grandmother. That's the best picture of a horse I've ever seen. He's got 5 legs and he's purple, but it's the best picture of a horse I've ever seen. It's not the best horse. It's not the best anything you've ever seen. But to that child, it's important. Or to an older person, say you're talking to your 90-year-old grandmother, and you look beautiful. No, she looks like a 90-year-old old lady. But does she want to hear that? No, she doesn't want to hear that. So you're right. It's the same thing. Like, that's not true. But we say these things because it's comforting. And if saying or letting them say and not disputing it, that you're going to go and be in the arms of Jesus, if that gets them through that last day or month or whatever, I will live to fight the argument. All these things we talked about, I'll fight those battles when they're due. But that individual, if it makes them feel better, fine. But they're foreshadowing. Mike brought it up earlier. We are going to have a video here in a little bit where that is not necessarily a good answer, but it's a common answer, right?
But here's the dichotomy, though: is if it was an atheist that was dying, a religious person would come in and try to get you to believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
So
actually, my father did that on his own deathbed to me. I lost my father to cancer about 14 years ago, and I had the privilege of taking care of him when he was dying. He was on hospice for a good while. And there was this particular, I was still working at the time, but I was taking some FMLA time, intermittently to care for him. So we had home health coming, and this one week in particular was really important to me at work. And I had a big meeting, and I was like getting ready to go into this meeting, and I had a call. And I had told the front desk person, like, hold my calls until this meeting is over. And they poked their head in, and I was like, I told you to hold it. And they're like, you're going to want to take this one. And my heart sunk for a second, because I thought this was the call, right? And it was in some sense, but it wasn't the call I thought I was getting. Anyways, I pick up the phone, and it was my stepmom, and she's like, he just won't take no for an answer. And that, like, you have to get here. He's like demanding that you be here right now. And I had to like cancel the meeting. I'm dry, it took me an hour to drive to their house. I get there and I'm like, hi, Dad, I'm here. Like, what is it that you needed to stop heaven and earth to like get me here today for? And he said, I was worried. He thought he was dying. He said he was worried that he was going to die without talking to me about my eternal soul. Basically, he was like, he knew that I was an atheist.
Yeah.
And he was respectful about it for the most part, for being as religious as he was. But on his like when he really thought that moment was coming, that he was going to go, he thought like he just had a panic and was like, get her here. And I have to he wanted to use his dying breath to try to save my
one of the last
from
things,
damnation.
One of the last things my father said to me before he passed was he hoped that my brother and I would be born again so that he would see us.
So I guess I would just answer the question quickly by saying, what do I say to a dying person? It really depends on who they are and what they believe. I'm not going to lie to them and pretend like I believe something that I don't. But I think I would try to say things that are comforting without lying. And I think I would listen more and talk less. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's probably a good, listen more and talk less. That's probably, and really, that's probably what they want. They just want to get this off their chest. And both of you guys' situation, that was their dying wish. Okay. It could be worse, right?
I just said, Dad, I don't know what will happen in the future, but I appreciate that you care enough for me to want that for me.
I agree. Randy, I put Randy's question up. I said, but I was like, I don't know what that means, Randy. But then you corrected. He said, yeah, sorry, fat fingered it. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm hoping none of them guys know that answer because I don't know what the insuil means. I was like, all right. So no problem, Randy. Thanks for checking in, man. But Randy did say, religion only is on the gas, no brakes, and that's exactly it.
Yeah,
he's totally true on that one. I'm going to jump to another one.
And
go ahead, Mike. Yeah,
with what Randy said, with religion having all gas, no brakes, I think on the flip side of that, we should, as secularists, as humanists, as atheists, we should try to live by just these two little things.
Mm-hmm.
Do no harm, but take no shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. In a lot of cases, that's exactly
because we know
right?
that they're always going to be on the gas pedal. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I have a T-shirt that says
I'll add lead by example.
Yeah. We do need to push back, which is it's fine. I have no problem pushing back. I don't really go out and start fights, but come on, there's a point.
No.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's show. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor and like and subscribe to the show and tell a friend. That helps us grow and it lets us keep bringing you more voices from the other side of belief. Until we talk again, be kind to one another and remember that reason and compassion go a long way.